Oh, we're in business now.
What up? What up?
We're in business, B
What's
Wood.
going on?
How you living?
Oh, good as always, man. Can't
You go
complain.
to the gym yet?
Yeah, man. Got it in early this morning, man. I'm in Atlanta for work, man. So I had to get it in real quick.
You're an early bird?
Oh, oh yeah, I gotta get my workout done as soon as I get up. Get up, you know what I'm saying? Take care
Okay.
of some business, read a couple things, and then get up out of
That,
here.
that reminds me of Braun a little bit, just the routine, the discipline, wake up early. I'm just throwing it out there, you know what I mean?
Bro,
Just throwing
you
it, just discipline.
bro, you love Braun so much, it's crazy.
I just like giving credit where credit's due. He's in year 21, greatest comeback ever, by the way. His entire career
For sure.
down, 21 in the fourth quarter against the Clips,
Yeah.
and he just dropped 19 in the fourth, man. So it's just on my mind, I'm doing my daily reels and to see Braun defeating time once again. So what were your thoughts on that? I guess we can start off with that.
Listen, LeBron James is Benjamin Button. He's aging backwards. So,
Yeah.
like just watching how great he's playing right now,
Hmm.
it's incredible. 39 years old, 20 plus seasons, and then he doesn't have the regular 20 seasons anyway. Like these are 20 seasons, but yeah, like 10 of those seasons he was going deep playoff runs into the NBA Finals, putting all types of miles on his body.
Hmm.
Then he might go all the way to the NBA Finals and then go play USA basketball as well.
Yeah.
So to see him put this many miles on his body and still be playing at this level, it's incredible. Like we may never see somebody else have this level of greatness combined with health luck, like not having really like super major injuries. We might never see this again.
Yeah, I don't think we will. And the injuries didn't happen until later anyway. Like what, year 18 you started to
Yeah.
see it, maybe 17 with the groin, it was just like a little bit. But yeah, no crazy major injuries. There's a lot going on now. Let's focus on the Clippers very quickly because I don't think I got to talk to you about this. If I remember correctly, it was your take where you were very high on the Clippers when the
Mm-hmm.
trade initially happened. And I'm not gonna lie, I pushed back. I'm like, B Wood, I don't know if I agree with you on this one. And then it was looking like I was correct at first. And
Mm.
now the way they're
Long
clicking
season. Long
long
season. Long
season. So
season.
what do you expect from the Clippers postseason though, right? Because yeah, they look great, but we've kind of seen this before, but we kind of haven't with this type of talent that they have. Do you expect them to carry this into the postseason? Like, should they be legit contenders in the West, right there with Denver or Minnesota?
We never see the Clippers in the postseason healthy. It's always,
Yeah,
oh, Kawhi's hurt. Paul George is hurt.
right.
And so the biggest thing is health. If the Clippers are healthy, I think the two biggest threats to come out of the West are the Clippers and the Denver Nuggets. And the Clippers, just because they have so much depth and versatility, um, their stars don't have to be great every night because they have so many stars.
Yeah,
And I know Russ just went down with a fractured hand. Hopefully he'll be back by the playoffs or whatever. But coming off the bench, you have Russell Westbrook. He's the spark plug. You obviously have Kawhi, who's their best player, and then you have Paul George. So if Kawhi's having a slow night, Paul might take over. Paul's having a slow night, James can take over. James can take over from a scoring aspect and a passing aspect. And now James Harden doesn't have to be the guy. What has always happened in the playoffs is James has to be the guy.
yeah,
And I don't know what it is. I don't know if he got allergies or what, but when that pollen starts coming off the trees around the end of May, end of April, beginning of May, James Harden's game normally just starts tanking.
yeah.
So now they don't need as much from James.
Hmm.
And so I think that can help them as well. And then I think Ty Lue is one of the best coaches in the game. They have multiple big men as far as like when you talk about Zubac, Plumlee, Daniel Tice. So they have multiple bigs that are solid, that can play a role in the middle. So
Yeah.
I like this team.
Do you think when you think of the best coaches in the league, I don't think Ty Lue gets the respect he deserves. Immediately you
Oh, for
think
sure.
Pop, Kerr, Spoelstra, but Ty Lue's right up there.
I think he's definitely up there. I think the only thing that separates him like these last couple of years has just been the injuries. But the man does have an NBA championship.
Yeah,
He was part of the greatest comeback
ever.
of all
Yeah,
time in the NBA Finals,
yeah,
and it was his strategy of, hey, we're going to put Steph Curry in every single action, make him guard a pin down to a screen and roll, make him really work. And it affected Steph. You could see sometimes he was tired in the finals. So Ty has
yeah.
incredible strategy, but more importantly, man, like he has the command and the respect of that locker room. I've seen him tell LeBron James the tough stuff that no one else will tell him, and he'll tell it to him in front of everybody. And you
Wow.
got to have strong conviction as a coach. There's a lot of coaches that are scared to do that.
Yeah.
They'll coach the eighth and ninth man hard, but not the star. And that's what makes T. Lue unique. His swag is undeniable. He's not scared to coach everybody the same way.
Do you think he gets that because he was a former player himself, or that's just his approach as a human being?
I think there's a lot of former players that are scared of the shadow that are coaches.
Mm,
T. Lue, that's just his swag. His swag is I'm T. Lue. Even when he
yeah.
was a player, he was like, yo, like he was the guy that could just get along with everybody. He had a commanding personality. So it was nothing for him to be on a team with Shaq and Kobe, and where everybody else had to pick sides, he was cool with Shaq and Kobe. You know what I'm saying? Like it was like he was just that guy that could bounce around because of who he is and how confident he is in himself. And you can see that when he coaches. He coaches with no fear. Some coaches coach, and you can tell like they're coaching and they're scared to lose their job. He's not scared to he's not scared to make a mistake.
Yeah, I really like Ty Lue a lot. Let's talk about the big fella. You're obviously a post expert. That's your
Yes, sir.
forte. You told me a long time ago, and I always give you credit when I can. Jokic, he's going to be the man. He's the man right now. I was slow to that party. Unfortunately, you were obviously correct. He is the man. But there's a recent stat saying that he jumps the lowest on
Yes.
average compared to any NBA player, and I think
Not
it's
surprising. Not surprising.
yeah, because you think NBA, flashy, the dunks, the athleticism, that the most unathletic player in the league is the best player in the league unanimously. How long do you think Jokic can be the best player? Because he's clearly not relying on athleticism.
Well, here's the first thing. Athleticism
Yeah.
is not more important than skill. If you think about arguably two of the top five players in the game, it's
Mm-hmm.
Luka and Jokic. Neither one of them are super fast. Who's been the best point guard in the game for the last decade? Steph Curry. He's
Mm-hmm.
not super fast. If you have skill, that is more important than athleticism. Athleticism, it's flashy. It'll get you on the highlights. But the guys that can handle, go wherever they want to, make the right passes, have an incredible jump shot from the mid-range and three complete games, those guys' games have sustainability. And that is what Jokic has. He has sustainability. I feel his run as a top five player can extend for the next 8 to 9 years, kind of like Steph's dominance. Yeah, long as the team is built correctly, his dominance can last for a long time because his game isn't built on athleticism. Look at a guy like Blake Griffin. As soon as he stopped being able to jump,
Yep.
the game was gone.
Yep.
Like somebody like Zion Williamson has to be watching, has to be very wary because when his athleticism goes down, his game's gonna go into the tank. A guy like Jokic, he's not depending on athleticism. He knows how to use his size. Okay, one bounce, two bounce, drop step, jump hook, up and under, step through, lobs, floaters, touch. His game is based on skill. So when your game is based on skill, you can have longer runs of greatness because when you slow down, you're still going to be effective. Like Steph isn't as fast and quick as he was 10 years ago, obviously. But
Right.
guess what? He won a championship 2 years ago because the skill level is still crazy.
Crazy. Now,
Yeah.
let me throw you a curveball real quick. I love KD. This is no shot at KD. He's a arguably top 10 player of all time. I think he's
Don't say nothing bad about KD because if he see it, he will tweet to you right about it.
Yeah, about to say, this is my question though. Because everyone's like, oh, Giannis, KD, who's better all time? And we have fun with it. We talk about it. At the end of the day, there's really no right or wrong answer. But if
Who says
Jokic,
Giannis KD is
when
that's a
he
battle?
when he won the championship, he led his team to an MVP to a championship. He has 2 MVPs. So when you look at accolades, maybe not the dominance for a certain period of time, but on paper, his resume is just as good, if not better. So my question is with Jokic, I don't think people understand how good he is already all time. So if he wins this 3rd MVP and he's led Denver to a championship with a Finals MVP, does he catapult guys that we just wouldn't necessarily think he would, like a KD, because of his resume?
Oh yeah, like Jokic, depending on what happens with the MVPs over the next couple of years and the championships.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, being an all-time great player, we understand that you got to have great regular seasons, then you got to have the chips, and then you got to have the accolades. You got to have the All NBA teams, the All Star selections, the MVPs of the league. And so a guy like Jokic, if he wins another MVP, and let's just say he has another, let's just say for argument's sake, this year, he wins a MVP and he wins a Finals MVP.
Yeah.
He now goes, as far as big men goes, he's right behind Shaq and Hakeem. And some might put him past it, and he might can leap past Hakeem.
Really?
If you've got 3 MVPs, the list of people with 2 MVPs is short.
Yeah.
If you've got 3 MVPs,
I don't know what you got going on over there, but they're celebrating.
yeah. Hey, listen, man. Hey, I don't know. Hey, they must know that the MVP is coming. The MVP is coming. But if you've got 3 MVPs,
yeah,
you like one MVP puts you in a different type of category. It's kind of like when you walk into the club, there's general admission.
Right.
So when you make it to the NBA, you're a star player. That's general admission. Hey, everybody's in there popping. Hey, everybody's in there having a good time. When you get an MVP, you get Hey, listen. They let you behind the velvet rope.
Mm-hmm.
You're not in general admission anymore when you got MVP. You in the velvet rope section. Now we know you a Hall of Famer. You get multiple MVPs. There's even a different section. Now you in the private room in the back, the boom boom room. You got your own little you got your own private thing going on. Everybody can't get back there. So if you've got 3 MVPs, man, you in that elite section of the club, popping bottles. You know what I'm saying? All by yourself with your private section. That's elite company, and that's where Jokic can put himself, depending on what happens this year with the MVP race and the Finals MVP.
No, and that's what I'm saying. And when I saw that, I'm like, yeah, if he wins another one, that's just elite territory. Let's get your thoughts on this. Victor Wembanyama, the face of the NBA. It's like one of the most talked about things this year. The 5x5 games. You're a big, obviously, you know how hard that is to get 5x5. I think it was the first time we've seen it in such a long time. The fact that he's done it twice now, he's getting better every single game. He's in the San Antonio organization. He's got all the right people in his corner. Is it set in stone, barring injury, like he's clearly LeBron, Steph, now it's Wemby as the next face of the NBA?
He's going to be one of the faces.
But
yes.
Not the face?
It's too many young guys. There's too many young guys playing at a high level. There's too many young guys playing. Like SGA could be the face. SGA might be the MVP this year.
Yeah.
You know, Luka could be the face. He's having an MVP type season. Let the Mavericks go on a run and they get into the top 3 or 4 of the Western Conference. We know what I'm saying. We could see Luka go ahead and make that type of run too. So it's a different level. Who else is in that group? You got Jason Tatum, Anthony Edwards. Like, it's a whole crew of guys that could be the face, and Wemby is right there. But in 2 years, ain't nothing they're going to be able to do with this dude. Where are all these balloons?
Hey, I don't know. Oh, you must be telling the future or something. Is he winning a ring in 2 years, an MVP in 2 years? I just think he's clearly going to be, like, the fact that he's averaging 20, 10, and he's leading the league in blocks as a rookie.
Yeah. And hold on one second. Got my food order came in. Hold on.
Hey, man, I'm going to answer this. We got Trae Young to the Lakers.
For Trae Young to the Lakers, what's that going to do?
That's what we're saying. Does that win them a championship? That's a question on here.
Trae Young to the Lakers?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, you're crazy. Trae Young on the Lakers with Anthony Davis and LeBron wins a ring.
No.
Well, what more would they need, B-Wood?
Have you seen LeBron play?
Yeah, he just broke 19 points in the fourth quarter. That's all I need. He doesn't need to be the best all year long, just in moments.
LeBron doesn't do well with ball-dominant players. Trae Young is a ball-dominant player. You check his usage levels, his usage rates over the last couple of seasons, they're incredibly high. And when Trae doesn't have the ball, he's not a guy that plays off the ball well. You know what made LeBron and D Wade so good was the fact that D Wade understood how to play off the ball, and so did LeBron James.
Right. Your room service knew you were talking crazy. That's why they had to interrupt.
Thank you. No, seriously. So, like, if you look out there at Trae, if you look at Trae Young and his game, Trae's not a guy that's going to be moving off the ball like a Steph Curry. Mm-hmm. He's not that type of guy. Sure. And so when you have Bron wants the ball in his hands at all times. And so I don't think that you're going to get the most out of Bron and Trae if they're on the same team. And I don't think Bron knows another way to play. What's the first thing D Wade said he had to do after 2011 when they lost in the finals?
He had to take a back seat.
He had to take a back seat, and Chris Bosh had to change his game, start shooting corner threes. Chris Bosh wasn't shooting no corner threes in Toronto. They all had to change their game to mix with Bron because he was the best player and he's ball dominant. Bron is not.
like how he did with Rondo. He's like, okay, wait, Rondo off the ball is not nearly as valuable as Rondo on the ball. So here, Rondo, have the ball. They won a championship. So you don't think at this age he'd be like, okay, let me adjust.
I don't think he can adjust.
Hmm.
Rondo was playing 10 minutes a game.
Yeah.
Yeah, for the 5 minutes that we're out here together, or the 7 minutes we're out here together, I'll make an adjustment. But Trey gonna be playing 35 to 40 minutes a game. How are you gonna make that work? It's
Right.
gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough when you take the ball out of Bron's hands and Trey's out there dribbling, doing his thing, and teams is like, oh, now Bron got to be spotted up in the corner. Well, we know Bron's a better shooter than what he used to be, but we'll still live and die with that. And then what happens to Anthony Davis? Like, we want Anthony Davis to be even more aggressive. You bring Trey Young in there, man. He's gonna turn into Derek Lively. He's just gonna be out here catching lobs. That's it. They ain't gonna have no plays for him.
I'm about to say, though, on the contrary, though, if you don't get that version of Anthony Davis, you are getting the easiest looks of his life. Like, Trey Young is a great passer. Like, great passer. That pick and roll with him and AD would be crazy.
Listen, man, with Bron being so ball dominant, I do not see it working, yo. I don't see it working.
Before I get to my last subject with you, since we're on the LeBron Lakers topic, Bronny has been a huge discussion, and whether or not he's going to enter the draft. And LeBron's like, hey, can we just give it a moment, let the kid play basketball? What do you make of that situation with Bronny in the spotlight? Obviously, people forget, too, he just had a crazy medical situation. Like, there's a lot going on to give this guy some time and some patience. What do you make of Bronny? Does he play another year, and just that whole situation?
I think Bronny has to play another year unless he wants to get a passport, or he wants to. No, listen, I've normally stayed away from Bronny topics because I felt they have been unfair to Bronny.
Agree.
First of all, he is LeBron James' son. That is hard enough. The second part is his dad has been hyping him up in the media for years. So now people want to see what you can do. And not only has he been hyping him up, he's been saying certain things. Bronny can play in the NBA right now.
Yeah.
I'm going to stay in the league until Bronny gets here, like it's a foregone conclusion.
Mm-hmm.
One time he said, I'm watching the NBA, and some of these guys, Bronny, it's hilarious because Bronny's better than them. It's hilarious. That's what he said. Yeah. Now he ain't laughing because his son's averaging 5 points and shooting 37% to get 5.
Yeah.
And so when I say that if he came out this year, he would be overseas, would we be talking about anybody else shooting sub 40% from the field to get 5 points that could come out this year and be a first-round pick if they weren't attached to LeBron James?
Absolutely not.
Exactly. And that's what has been unfair to Bronny, is that the hype machine, because of who his dad is, and then how his dad has carried it on social media and things, and how he's cut up at his games, dunking in the layup line, a lot of shine on Bronny.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of shine. And now them lights is bright.
Right.
And Bronny's a great kid. He hasn't made any mistakes as far as being a young man with a lot of pressure. He just needs time to develop in the shadows. And unfortunately, he hasn't been given that luxury because Bron is so big that with just him mentioning his son being better than Lakers current teammates, now you're shining the light on him. And now you can't ask for the light, and when the lights get bright, you tell me turn them off. Nah, you asked for LeBron. You asked for these lights. Bronny didn't ask for what you did. You asked for the attention. Okay, you asked for the attention. You know, you can't call for attention and then hang up when the line gets hot.
Maybe he's just being a supportive father, man. We just gotta.
But listen, Carmelo's a supportive father, and he's chosen a different approach. Del Curry was a supportive father. He chose a different approach. And so, like, all I'm saying is that I think that LeBron honestly put a lot of pressure on this kid by the tweets and the comments and saying that, like, the NBA is a foregone conclusion. And his game could one day get there. It's just not there yet. Right. And like you said, he had the heart condition. Maybe next year he makes a jump. But it's looking now, Bronny's probably 2 years away from being an NBA player. He needs to find a go-to move, and he needs to become a better corner three-point shooter. I think that if he does those two things, or if he at least just finds the corner three, he can play in this league for a long time because I love his defensive aspects.
Yeah, that's facts. The last thing I have for you, I know you got a big game tonight as well. I see it in the comments there. The last thing, they're starting to release certain locks for Team USA. Obviously, nothing is factual yet, but it looks like Joel Embiid, the KD, the Curry, the LeBron, and a lot of people are saying that Drew Holiday is a lock for Team USA. And my question is, we all know the great defender that he is. Obviously, you hear other players talk about him. He's spectacular. Not here to hate on Drew Holiday's game, but should he be a lock over people like Anthony Edwards, like Tyrese Halliburton, like Anthony Davis, like Bam Adebayo? Obviously, those are bigs, different position. But should he be a lock for Team USA over guys like that?
I think Drew Holiday should definitely be a lock on Team USA. Now, who he should be a lock over, I don't know. But the one thing I know about Team USA is you're going to have to you have to play defense. The European game is different. You're going to have to get physical. You're going to have to play defense, and you need guys that can play high-level defense when it's called upon.
Mm-hmm.
You look at what just happened when Team USA went over there. They couldn't get stops.
Not one.
They couldn't get stops when they needed them. And so that's what you have to have. So, like, I think Anthony Edwards should be on the team for sure. But I think that Drew Holiday will be needed. You need a guy that's going to play tough defense, be able to knock down shots, have a great personality, be ready when called upon. But, you know, Team USA, the minutes can get funky. If he gets 5 minutes one night, he's going to be the same Drew Holiday as if he gets 25 minutes. So I think that Drew Holiday is very important, and he is probably I think he's the premier wing defender in our league. I think Drew and Bam need to be locks.
Yeah.
You got to have Bam. You got to have Bam to switch the pick and roll and give them that defensive front along with Joel Embiid, and you need Drew Holiday. I think both those guys got to be locks.
I like that. And I'm not going to say this is the greatest USA team ever because you got a lot of older guys, but just on paper, this team is absolutely stacked. And then looks like we may have one question left for you, B. Wood, and then the last thing I'll leave you with because I know you got to get ready and go. Scoring issue in the NBA, yes or no?
What? Do you think they're scoring too easy?
Yeah, because the NBA now looks like they're going to do an overview, and they'll be like, okay, we need to balance this game back out. 60 and 70 is becoming very common. Well, not very common, but a lot more common than it used to be. Do you feel like the game is too offensively centric and the defense doesn't have enough leverage or enough say with the refs?
I'm not sure how you really reel it back in. You obviously don't want hand checking. You don't want the scores to go back to being 85 to 90 like when the Knicks were playing in the 1990s. So I think the guy's skill level in today's game is crazy. There's more shooting is now at a premium. The court is more spaced out and spread out. Maybe you take away some of the touch fouls.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think the league wants hand-to-hand combat on the post and things of that nature. And I honestly think, guys, the skill level is incredible. Like back in the day, teams didn't have a stretch 4 or a stretch 5. A stretch 4 was stretching out to like 15 feet. Now every team has a stretch 4 and a stretch 5,
every team.
which creates the maximum amount of spacing for your best players. So the guy I'm the NBA is going to try to reel the scoring in, but I honestly think the guys in today's game are just too good.
Yeah, you could be right with that one for sure. B. Wood, I appreciate you. As always, make sure you do your thing tonight, and we'll get this rock and rolling here soon.
All right, boss.
Take
See you.
care. Be safe.